The Management Excellence Program has provided me with words to help understand the new realm of leadership that I've entered into, time dedicated to growth, learning, and vulnerability. And one of the most valuable takeaways for me was the ability to network with UVM Health Network colleagues and leaders because it was a very unique venue to be able to do that. It's pretty remarkable reflecting back over the past almost 24 months and seeing the stability that I've been able to foster for myself personally, professionally, emotionally, and how that's contributed to my ability to lead a growing team of professionals. I can say with confidence that in the years to come, I will reflect fondly on what great MEP was for me when it came into my life. And I know that I will continue to engage with MEP as I hone the skills that I've been practicing over the past 18 months as I continue my leadership journey.
Whether it's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, or ambiguity. And I had experienced multiple of these elements as we were learning about them in the course. However, the discussion in the groups didn't stop with, well, yes, these are difficult things to handle, so good luck. And then we were, on to the next thing. But instead, we talked about ways to manage these difficult situations, which is really what I needed at that time. And these tools are having vision, understanding, clarity, or even embracing agility as a way to make it through an ambiguous situation. I found these discussions extremely helpful because it provided a name for what I was experiencing at work and gave me some validation and support for what I was going through.
Things were not being done as they should be done. So I discussed with the cohort what would be the best approach, coming to the conclusion that I could use the SBI model to try to get my point across to the employee without them shutting down. I tried everything up to that point, but the situation, behavior, and impact feedback finally got through to them. And we could discuss the situation without them getting defensive. And I gave them feedback about the situation and came up with a plan that would work for both them and the rest of the team. And it also gave her confidence to start actively trying to do a better job. And she felt good about it because we actually came to the conclusion together instead of me just dictating that what she should be doing.
The model tool also helped guide our team on building the accountability agreement. By embracing accountability as a team and learning to hold each other accountable, this became the start of a wonderful journey that embraced not only change as a good thing, but to also enjoy the journey with each other and to improve our nursing practices. This takes time, it takes effort, and it takes commitment on each other's parts. My initial focus in this process was, how do I get buy-in from my stakeholders? Just ask. So I engaged the unit leaders and those open to change, and I put out the challenge, and they did not disappoint. They are the true leaders of change on our unit. I just needed to learn to let go and let others grow.
Because schedule simplification was so large in scope and touches each role on our care team, I chose it as my change initiative, believing it to be an excellent opportunity to exercise some of my knowledge and skills that I've learned in all three sections of the Management Excellence Program. So how could I be most impactful as a leader? How could I help my team navigate tremendous levels of change, including anticipating their needs and addressing their concerns? Even better, how could I take a project full of landmines and risks and turn that into an opportunity for improved engagement? So let's jump right into it. One leadership competency we focused on is building effective teams. In section 1 of the program, we reviewed Michael Hyatt's notion of the 5 levels of delegation. This was a key insight for me, as I, like many other leaders, had historically had to combat excuses that I would make for not delegating, excuses such as not having enough time, or I feel like I'm a subject matter expert and may be able to do this better than any particular person I might want to delegate to, and who may not want to be delegated to anyway because of their own busyness.
How did things change? Well, there were several factors, and MEP was one of them. My participation in the MEP reminded me that I could lead from authenticity, vulnerability, and mutual empathy. Those are tenets of relational cultural theory, which is the main theory out of which I practice as a spiritual care educator. And that I could bring that knowledge and that theory into my practice as a manager. So that's the first thing. And the second way, very practical way that MEP supported me as a leader in my growth was introducing me to the 5 dysfunctions of teams. And then I shared that with my team, and that became a piece of concrete and very practical theory that we could use to talk about where we were in the process of growing as a team and where we wanted to be.
Out of this, I really learned a lot about myself, that I really do need to slow down. I don't always need to rush through change initiatives just because I think I know what I want to do. It's really important to get feedback from others and really think through what we want to do when it comes to organizational changes. And if what I thought I knew needs to change, then I can take that step back and rethink the approach. So reminding myself to do these things, I think will be really helpful in my management development.
And I think throughout this process, it was really nice to think about how to slow down a little bit, take some time with getting the questions right in the survey, getting some time to take some breaths and analyze the data and let the data lead me to where I want to go. So the question of, are we going to move forward with our change initiative? The answer is yes. The survey showed some great opportunities, showed some strengths as well for our department. So it's nice to be able to show the team what we're doing really well and show the team some areas that they have all identified as kind of work in progress. So not only did this help kind of figure out if we should move it forward, but it kind of outlined steps to move this forward. So I'm really appreciative of this project, and we'll keep pushing this along as we can find some capacity along the way.
What have I learned about myself, and what does it mean for continuing growth? The impact that this has had on me as a leader is that it has allowed me to grow, educate myself in ways that I didn't know existed or was actually even possible. I truly learned a lot about myself as a leader and feel like the changes I have made throughout my MEP journey and the changes I will continue to make will create a more conducive team, build trust, and eliminate ambiguity within the team, with the end goal of obviously sustaining it. And keeping it all, allowing myself to be vulnerable by practicing patience, allowing others to play in my sandbox per se, and mostly absorb what's being shared and not react instantly, with the hopes of gaining and building trust with my peers and my direct reports. I will continue to work on being the best version of myself, as it only benefits us all as a team.
I think because of all of that volatility and uncertainty, that it was hard to succeed, or I was maybe scared that it would be hard to succeed.
Yeah.
So when I saw the MEP come out, or the email come out, I jumped on it, and I was it was recommended to me by Michael as well as Lisa Barron, who was the HR director back then.
Right.
And Michael sponsored me. And I would say during that time, there was a lot of contemplation that happened, and whether or not I wanted to stay, whether I wanted to go. And I think like you said, the MEP kind of acted as a lifeline, because I was able to connect. And
Yeah.
as well, like with all that uncertainty, spend some time working on myself
think similarly to you, the scarf was really significant for me. And I
Okay.
know that's not necessarily a new thing, and again, my results were not particularly surprising for anybody that knows me. I think anybody who knows me was like, yeah, of course, certainty was like off the charts for you with no competition from any other category. But what I really appreciated was it wasn't just that we took the SCARF assessment, it's that then we took the SCARF assessment and then we learned what we were currently doing as a result of what mattered to us in our work relationships and how that might be coming across and how we may want to change things. So the other concept, one of the concepts we talked about a lot in MEP was the concept of your first team. I think when we did the reading in the second session, and that concept of who your first team is. And so I had to switch my thinking and realize that my first team was the senior leadership team and my directors, and build that trust back with them. And that my second team is actually my direct report. So it was this interesting shift. And I think that's really the pivotal moment for me where I began to view myself as a manager.
I think that the results are going to be completely different. I think that people are feeling really comfortable with the change that has happened. We are definitely more efficient right now, which is great. That was a concern that staff had. So right now in this change initiative, I am gathering data and planning to roll out this survey again. So that's one of the things about MEP is the program gives you tools to continue for continuous improvement. So I'm finding myself using these skills with like everyday decisions of, sometimes where I would have just immediately made a decision and made a change. I'm taking the time to really think about it and to think about those staff that have a high threat response to uncertainty.
Now the teams will be offered opportunities to partner and to work together and to mentor each other, with the hope that the relationships can form from the beginning and the foundation of teams can occur, which is trust. I'm excited to say that we're actually going to try this out next week when the new staff start. This has been quite a journey of professional development and change management, and I want to impart, in conclusion, to all the new leaders out there, that there are tools available and language for all the things you're encountering, whether it's building teams, managing change, having difficult conversations, building insight into your style, or leading a change initiative. This has also been a great way to know other leaders in the organization, and I feel more connected to the work we're doing as an organization. The networking opportunity alone is invaluable. Most of all, I realized I don't have to do this alone or solely lean on my leader.